Come in. Oh,
Hello, Joseph, is it?
hi, Dr. Zapata. Yes, Joe. How are you?
I'm well. What seems to be the problem, Joe?
Well, I'm having difficulty drawing from imagination.
Oh, Joseph, just so you know, that's totally normal. Why don't you tell me a little more about your problem? Is it that you can only draw from imagination if you're completely alone?
Doc, I can't ever draw from imagination.
What about if you're completely relaxed?
When I'm totally relaxed, I can't imagine a thing.
I see. Joseph, it's important to know that even with severe cases like this, there's always hope. I can prescribe an experimental therapy called Form from Imagination.
Form from imagination?
It's early days, but clinical trials are extremely promising. Why don't you try this for 6 months and then check back in with me?
Okay, I'll do whatever it takes. Did you just draw this?
Oh yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. Hey, Doc, do you ever have trouble drawing from imagination?
Oh no.
You wouldn't. I mean, you drew this.
That's right.
Wow.
Form from Imagination is an experimental therapy and is not yet approved for use by the FDA. Do not use Form from Imagination if you are already taking any prescriptions for drawing from reference, working side size, or tracing photos you didn't even take. Stop taking Form from Imagination if you experience any of these side effects: loss of interest in your personal projects, megalomaniacal self-confidence, hallucinations, unless they're the kind you're hoping for, drawing better than Steven Zapata, or feelings that purchasing the course was enough and you don't really need to do the exercises. Call your doctor if you have stiff gestures, flat forms, or boring ideas to address a possible life-threatening condition. Full sketchbooks have been reported with Form from Imagination and medicines like it. Other risks include long-term art careers, too many clients, and being worth more than you're charging for. Call your doctor today and ask about Form from Imagination. When last we met, after a hard-fought campaign in the fire desert, you stormed the cursed castle and defeated the warlord of doom. You learned of the evil chrysalis, where Dagmar the Forgotten has been chained for thousands of years. He's been scorched, baked, and toasted on a lake of licking fire for eon upon eon. But Dagmar the Forgotten is not forgotten. You must face him in the dungeon of eternal flame. You guys aren't feeling it, huh?
I mean, like, Dungeon of Eternal Flame again? It's just a little off theme for December, right? I mean, it's freezing out. And
This holiday season, don't miss out on the miniature pack with the most Christmas cheer. The Gnomes and Nutcrackers mini set will keep your party on the edge of their seats as you deck the halls of your adventure with a winter wonderland of fun. Each Gnomes and Nutcrackers character has been individually hand-sculpted, 3D printed, and casted by Joe Marziliano to turn any holiday display from a ghost town into the ultimate Christmas village. The Gnomes and Nutcrackers mini-pack also includes a one-page tabletop role-playing adventure. Have a butterscotch ale with a gnome at the Stop and Sleep Inn, or go snow sledding with some adorable penguin chaps. Sing along with the local carolers and help the Nutcracker to do battle with the Mouse King to save the tree lighting ceremony at Town Square. The Gnomes and Nutcrackers mini set is a Kickstarter exclusive, only available for a limited time leading up to Season's Greetings 2022. So order your Gnomes and Nutcrackers now.
Hello everybody. Joseph, you're probably going to want to put a link to the Kickstarter in the chat. You should. Oh God, I'm really getting cut by my mask. Joe, you'll definitely want to put a link to the Kickstarter in the chat. You should be able to, since you're a mod. It shouldn't block you. Hello, everybody. I'm back. Let me fix myself here. Let's see. Here's my... so what's the problem here? All right, so I'm leaning too far into my... So I got to turn this... That... Just... Oh, okay. Now we're good. Hello, everybody. Check out Joe's Kickstarter. Get yourself some beautiful minis for your D&D campaign / Christmas village. Please go check out Joe's Kickstarter. Hello, everyone. I've been gone. I had COVID, laid me out for, I guess we're going on 2 weeks now. I would recommend not getting it, if at all possible. And I'm slowly starting to get back into this, or I am. Well, I'm slowly. It's, you know, I'm either streaming or I'm not. So I'm streaming right now, but I need to build up back to the normal schedule. Easy does it, easy as it goes in recovery. Feeling good lately. But feeling good by spending more time outside, more time actually resting. So let's onboard the work life and the art life and the chatting life. You know, just because of entropy, I'm sure my whole stream setup is, you know, it's like, did I change anything? Nothing. I didn't change anything. I've just been laying in bed sick for 2 weeks. But when I come back still, even though I've done nothing, it's like my white balance is all off. My mask is in the wrong place. I suppose my webcam has just randomly dithered with the movement of the earth and sort of become off kilter. I don't know. It's going to be all messed up. And you'll hear me cough. I'm still congested. What slime are you sipping? This is iced coffee right here. Love drinking iced coffee out of a straw. Yeah, I'm a little congested, still coughing a bit. You maybe hear me sneeze. Apologies. You don't really care. It doesn't really bother you. I know you guys. I know you don't really care. Hello, Tree Watcher. Hello, Arctic Monkey. Hello, Blue. Hello, Dino Blaster. Hello, Fran. Hello, Austere. Hello, C. Buckthorn. Shading Shada. Daryl Grant. Did I say Blue and Arctic Monkey yet? Leela's son, Elodin. Love that name. Marcellus Carver. Windcrow. Conflicted Crisis. Daryl Grant, Tree Watcher, AMP, AY, Aerosol, Doll, AP, Renola Dominguez, and Donnie Bereznek. I don't know. I'm going to try to draw. I had an idea for a drawing while rolling around in a fever dream. So I'm going to start in the sketchbook, try to codify the abstract little feeling that I had in a few doodles, and then maybe I'll go grab a real piece of paper and do it up bigger. But I'll be honest, I'm probably here more to chat, you know? If you guys got anything you want to chat about, question about, you know, I'm here for you. I also did not prepare my materials before I got on, which I really should have done. So I'm seeing that my pencil case is not here. Let me grab that. Various gears, pencil case, pen, my little watercolor tin. Monday, September 19th. A beautiful day to make art. Hope you're all making art out there. I hope you're all being creative, whatever kind of creativity you do. I hope you're doing it. I hope you're sculpting, drawing, inking, writing, dancing, singing. I hope you're doing whatever it is that you like to do. If you experience creativity as a drinking coffee, I hope you're drinking a ton of coffee. Hope you're drinking a ton of coffee. How did you know that I'm a retired wrestler? In this corner, in the blue and black trunks, Detox in... Wait, that's a boxer, right? How do they announce wrestlers? I've never watched, like, wrestling, so... Weighing in at 110 brutal serrated pounds, Renola Dominguez. I'm wiggling my hips while I do that. You guys can't see that, but that's going on for sure. Faux show. Faux show. Wow. Drawing the old sketchbook. Hey, Steven, good to see you, and the stream is back. What's up? Gamal, how you doing? Hello to Poof3 Awaye. What kind of pencil are you using? Is it a 0.3? This one is not. This is a 0.5 mechanical pencil. That's what I'll be drawing with for now. What is the order of your favorite to least favorite paint type? Acrylic is probably my least favorite. The rest of them I sort of consider to be on an equal footing. It just comes down to what you prefer. I gotta move myself over. But everything else I consider kind of to be on equal footing. I just, personally, acrylics have always been the one that have really grated on me the most. They're bearable if you do stuff to, or for me, they're bearable if I do stuff to make them more like the other ones. Like if you use open acrylics that dry slower, things like that. I just ran out of lead for my 0.5. Quit art. Quit art yesterday. It's as good a reason as any to quit art, so you should definitely quit. Hello from Ukraine. Hello from New York. From New York City. Oh, in New York City, and I'm riding the train. And I'm riding the train. Yeah, I'm paying for the train. And I'm hanging out on the train. I'm loitering on the train. I'm loitering on the train. I'm illegally drinking on the train. I'm drinking on the train because it's fun. Alright, let's see. So, I got a picture that I need to sort of parse out. I had something in mind for a figure, a male figure, surprise, sort of being torn apart in an ecstatic pose by a monster that is sort of flaying him. The putting it into words doesn't quite do justice to what I want there. I just need to figure out the gross positioning. Never just use a regular pencil? Why won't you take my advice and quit? Just quit. Just quit. It's so fun to quit art. It's so fun to free yourself from this mind prison and quit art. Go look at the sun. Go bathe in the water. Just quit art and be free. Free yourself. You know, if you don't want money or food, you could just kind of do whatever you want. Extremely freeing. Starve. If you're just willing to starve, it's amazing how much easier life gets. What haven't you done on the train? That's a very short list. That is a very short list. Where's my eraser? My eraser. Is making a good ratio of values more important than shapes when rendering materials? I cannot put into words correctly, but I hope that you get what I mean. Depends on the material. Some materials are going to rely on their shapes, like a really craggly rock texture or something like that. Is really more about the shapes, namely the shapes between the light and shadow plane breaks. But other materials are the opposite. They're less about the shapes and they're more about the value range, like gold, for example. You know, you can make something feel like metal with some high contrast blurs, basically, that don't really have the most defined or specific shape. So it may sound like a cop-out, that answer, but the truth is it depends on the material. Here's my answer. Which is, materials are broad and vast, they're a whole thing. They are cosmos all on their own, so everything's adding up here, Let's see, what else is up? Of course, you get the course. Of course, you get the course. And since, of course, it is a horse and you get the course, you're going to go get the course. And if you get the course, well, of course, I'm going to be very proud that you got the course. I got to be completely orse with you that I'm so proud that you got the course. So go get the course, and then I'll be proud, and then you can tell me, Steven, I got the course, and I could say, oh, of course you got the course, you beautiful horse. I'm so proud of you. So go get the course. You get very good at drawing, and everything just, follows from there. I did a call with people who got the course, of course, just on Friday, just a few days ago. Had a little happy hour, did a Q&A with them on Zoom, looking at each other's faces, meeting each other, asking questions. That was a lot of fun. It was really nice to meet y'all who came by. So you get the course, you learn, you support me, you get the feedback, the delicious, delicious feedback. I'm doing feedback after I get off the stream, actually. That's what I will do this evening with another giant cup of coffee. I need to think about what I want the creature to be. I think I want an octopus. Some sort of, but like an abstracted octopus, not like a very solid octopus. These scribbles are just for me for now, so don't mind me if you can't read these scribbles at all. This is pure sketchbooking time right now. These are just for me. You'll be able to tell what's going on better once I switch to the real piece of paper. I just need to speak my own language at myself for a little bit. Let's see what else is up. You should also get on Patreon. I just added a $5 tier to the Patreon, so it's more accessible than ever. So get on the Patreon, get on the Discord, meet people, like-minded people. You get work in progress updates. You get Patreon-only audio. Oh, I did a cool thing while I was sick. I was doing a whole bunch of little things that I've been putting off while I was sick, just, when I'm healthy, I got so many streams and feedbacks and everything to do that just gets a little crazy. So I have this long list of, little things I needed to do. So I got around to a bunch of those while I was sick over the past 2 weeks. One of those was I set up the RSS feed for the Patreon. So now if you sign up for the Patreon, for $5 for all sorts of bonuses, or $10 if you want all sorts of bonuses and discounts for all of my Gumroad videos and Form from Imagination. If you sign up for the Patreon, you also get a private RSS link so that the patron-only audio that I do on the Patreon shows up on your phone like a regular podcast, because I guess it is a regular podcast. Isn't that wonderful? That is to say, it's just, if it's going to your phone automatically, it's a podcast. So just, you plug that link into your phone's podcast app, search for show by URL, and you get it. Every time I add it, just goes straight to your phone, right to your phone. Straight to your phone, all the joy you want, right to your phone. Will your heart explode because of the coffee? It has many times. I've had to have my heart replaced countless times. It's quite frustrating. I think, Deirdre, what heart am I on? It's my 26th heart. My 26th baboon heart. I'm not going to tell you how to, live your life, but when you're on your 26th baboon heart, maybe it's time to reconsider some things. I've been thinking a lot lately, and it's maybe I should just take care of my heart, instead of just keep buying these baboon hearts. Just gotta get control of myself. You should get at least one baboon heart, though, because they're much better than human hearts. I mean, my mile time shaved 3 minutes right off once I got my first baboon heart. Baboon hearts are way better. It's fantastic. I run a 2-minute mile. It's amazing. You know, you can't find, obviously, you can't find that in the record books because you're disqualified if you have a baboon heart. But, you know, I run my own race, as they say. It's not about being in the record books for me. Hi, Steven. I really enjoy your content. Thank you for everything you put out for us. I just finished my first proper art piece. It's not good at all. I'm discouraged. How do I stop beating myself up? Well, Dessa, thank you for the kind words. I'm glad that you like the content. And congratulations on making your first art piece. How do you stop beating yourself up when your first art piece is not good? I'm going to say that really the only thing you need for that is to just give yourself a reality check. Like, why would your first art piece be good? You know, it's very easy in life to backslide into being completely irrational. So don't let yourself be completely irrational, all right? If it's really your first art piece, your first proper art piece, everything you know about life lets you know that it should be bad, right? And it's just part of the process. Don't worry about it. And don't beat yourself up irrationally. Don't let yourself rehearse a mental process that's going to let you heap shame on yourself for something that if your friend was doing it, you'd be like, calm down, that's not a big deal. Of course it's going to be bad. Just like, be chill. Cut it off at the pass. You're all right. Steven, are you on medication? Only a few. It's all stuff that my psychiatrists have told me I need to take to keep me from experiencing cosmic bliss 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They were like, you're not supposed to be that happy. And I was like, shit, really? No one told me. And they're like, yeah, take this. It'll kind of, you know, we as a society, we really value a sort of a Monday morning mediocrity to day-to-day living. And if you don't align with that, we get extremely scared. And we ostracize you, and we don't want that for you. And I was like, oh, thank you. That's very nice. I'm like, yeah, so just take this. Just kind of, you know. Even, yeah. I'm completely kidding, by the way. I know, I was just joking, but I know that the joke I was just making, unfortunately, comes dangerously close to aligning with a lot of people's life experience. I'm just, no, I'm not on any medications. I'm, for anything. I'm not even talking about, I happen to have the good luck of being in good health these days. Across the board. And I assume you were talking about like for COVID or anything like that. No, I'm basically over COVID. I just have some congestion left, but it has left my body besides that. I went for a run today for the first time in the past 2 weeks. Oh man, felt so good. I spent so much time over the past 2 weeks just laying around moaning and just thinking, oh my God, it's gonna be great to go for my first run once I'm done with this, once it's out of my body, once the poison's out of my body. It was a short one, you know, I'm easing into it, but I did get some exercise today, and it was just, whew, it was incredible. Felt great. Let me check my focus here. Nick Ravioli, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better, Steven. I am, man. I just have some congestion left, but it doesn't even really bother me. I'm out of the woods. We're all good here. Wait, I don't want to be using color. I gotta finish up. I gotta get the actual sketch. This is promising. That feels like what I was going for, but I need to elaborate on that. I'm on a very washed out camera setting right now, but it's not a big deal, so I'm just gonna leave it for now. So this is normal Steven. It's always normal Steven. It's always normal Steven. Hey Steven, what do you call this magic vaping phallus-headed creature? That's what it's called. You accidentally got it. That's its exact name. That is its exact name. I'm gonna like get a little bit more descript on the beastie that I want here. Why would I think it would turn out good? I don't know what I expected. I just looked at great art and was like, I can do that, easy. Then I got sad. Thank you. I hope you feel healthy and well. Yeah, well, unfortunately, one of the parts of great art is you make it look easy. You know, that's one of the most of the great art that you will admire throughout your life is done with a lot of virtuosity, you know, and that's going to make it look easy. It's going to make it look effortless and easily executed. But that is deception, and yes, it does set us up for unrealistic expectations. The virtuoso engineers that feeling, you know. They have front-loaded the tremendous effort into years of practice in order to make something look effortless and like it didn't take them nearly as much work as it actually did. But nothing in art is easily achieved. Now, it can be fun the whole time while you achieve it, but I think easy might not be the right word for it. You know, it's either going to be extremely challenging while you do it, or you have practiced so much over years and years and years and thousands of hours that it's easy in the moment, but you had to put in incredible effort ahead of time. Raoul Reynolds Drawing says, I love art. Me too. Me too. I have a crush on art. I think art is cute. I look at art from across the classroom and I'm like, man, art's so cute. And then art hooks up with some big buffoon and I'm like, what does art see in him? No. These proportions are not right. That is to say, the proportions of how I want this thing to cut on the page. That's no good. Different sketch, please. Let me just open up my feed here a little bit. Yep. That's not completely blowing out, is it? Nah, you guys can see that. Currently grinding anatomy studies. Go get it, Lo-Fi Sketches. You do those studies. Don't forget to be happy. Hey, if Steven says it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, right? Right. That's right, baby. It's going to be alright, man. You know, you just gotta accept. You just gotta accept. And accepting is hard. Because if you're going to accept, you gotta accept that bad things can happen. And that bad things will happen. Forget can. That's tough, you know. But if you make your peace with it, you know, if you make your peace with the fact that bad things will happen, that you will pass some amount of your earthly time in fear, in loss, confused, having the thing that you were most afraid of occur. You know, that's the stuff of life, you know. Seems so unacceptable when you imagine those things happening to you, but if it was happening to a friend, you'd be like, it's all right, you know. Of course these things happen. They happen to people, and you're a person, and you can get through it. And you just gotta think of yourself the same way. You gotta accept everything that's coming. You gotta accept it all. And when you do, on your good days, well, in that acceptance, then you really feel like, yeah, everything is gonna be okay, even if everything isn't gonna be okay. And it feels good. It feels real good. Steven, are you a fan of House of the Dragon or Rings of Power? Can you also draw different types of dragons? I don't really, not really a big dragon drawer. I've drawn a few, but they're not really something I come back to over and over again. I have not watched Rings of Power much. I watched a bit of the first episode. I like House of the Dragon. I've been watching it. It does not have the, let's just leave it be. I like it fine. I'm glad they took it slow. It has a nice, slower pace than I was expecting, and I'm glad they did that. I thought they were gonna rush it. Had a long break from art. Any advice to get back into it? Ain't nothing wrong with a long break. I think I want to take a long break, man. Sometimes I get to thinking, man, I gotta draw less. Jesus Christ. Sometimes you gotta check in with yourself. There's other things to do in life too, you know? Ways to get back into it? Ease on in, you know? Don't just like rush back in headlong after your break and then just exhaust yourself again and burn yourself again. Try to come back sustainably. Try to practice not exhausting yourself every day. The advice I always give is don't do everything you can do every day. I don't think that's a good idea. That's just like a sort of petulant, childish, you know, 15-year-old boy with something to prove kind of a vibe that guarantees that you're going to hurt yourself in the long run. I don't think you should get obsessed with the idea of every day when you go to bed, you're like, I gave it my all. I left nothing on the field. It's like, it's just, who are you trying to impress? You know, like you're just burning yourself out. Nobody cares, especially not for art. It's not like you're a football player, the most important people in the world. It's like nobody gives a crap how much you're drawing. You should do less than you are completely capable of every day so that you can build a virtuous cycle of happiness and pleasure and relaxed joy, and you will come back to it over and over and over again. So if you know at 7 hours in, you're pulling your hair out and you're really at the absolute end of your ability, don't do 7 hours every day. Do 5. Is it okay if I ask more questions? There's a lot to learn from you. I promise to make them more interesting than why are beginners bad at art. Yeah, of course. Yeah, man, I'm here for questions. If I wasn't down to chat and answer questions, I wouldn't have the cameras running. I'd just be off in my own little world, doing my own thing. Steven, what should I do to avoid hearing the unholy chant from the evil core of the galaxy whenever I start drawing? Thanks. Have you tried any sort of spiritual blockers? What kind of meditations are you doing? You should really, before you draw, you should really spend at least an hour listening to the empty hole inside of you and gazing into the vacuity that you mistake to be your spirit and your soul. Once you remember that there's nothing to find inside of an empty house, the unholy chant should stop. Is 3 hours a day okay to achieve mastery? What do you think mastery is? Do not set goals and numbers and hours for abstractions that you do not understand. What is mastery? Show me mastery. And don't you dare say mastery is this artist's ability. Don't think that you can just name an artist and say this is what mastery is. If you base your idea of mastery on the work of another, that guarantees you can never reach that level. What are you going to do? Be that person? Are you going to have their heartbreaks? Are you going to walk their roads? Are you going to live in their home? Are you going to have their dreams, their feelings, their emotions, their body? Someone else's achievement, someone else's mastery. There you go, John Singer Sargent. Wrong. Nope. You can't be Sargent. You can't be Bouguereau. You can't be Waterhouse. You can't be Kim Jong-gi. You can't be anybody. You have to be you. That's your only option. And they have all lived completely different lives, and they've all worked completely different amounts. You must stop holding up abstractions that you do not understand and that mean nothing and bending your whole life around them. You are going to lose control of the horse, and you are going to harm yourself. Put yourself first, explore yourself, try to figure out who the hell you are before you just warp your existence around trying to achieve. Sargent's dead. You can't even talk to him. You have no idea who he was. And you'll never paint his pictures because it's impossible to paint somebody else's pictures. So, start over. We're getting out now while we can. You're welcome, boys. Have the last of smokes and chicken. Just one Cadillac is all we need to get to where we're going. I brought my mother's depression. You got your father's scorn and a wayward and schizophrenia. And nothing will be spared. But I love you, honey bear. No problem, Miles. I feel like my joy for art has left me, even though I've been trying to follow your advices and cultivate it more, but now drawing feels like a chore and I have no patience while drawing. Any advice? If it feels like a chore, it is a chore. Stop. Just take a break. Sometimes you hit a wall with... You hit a certain point in your relationship with creativity where you just need to walk away. Not forever. No commitments. Artists tend to be extremely extreme people. You know? I know I am. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. I have a real all in or all out kind of an attitude, you know? I don't want to do it unless I'm the best. I don't want to make art unless I can make it all day, you know? We just do that for everything down the road. Just remember that it can change. just take a break. Just walk away for a minute. If art feels like a chore, it is a chore. So you've got to do something to remake it something you care about. Something you really want to be doing. Go do something you hate, you know? Go work, a difficult job or something like that. Repress art. When you walk away, just like try to like not to look at too much art, you know, because since you're not making it, it may create a situation where you get jealous because other people are making work and you're like, why can't I? Just stop looking at everything, you know. Do other stuff. Listen to music, dance, talk to your friends, go to therapy, I don't know, garden something. Let the desire to see beautiful things bubble up inside you again naturally. Now, that could be difficult, right? Depending on your situation. I know it's difficult for me because drawing is my livelihood and I'm not independently wealthy, right? Like I'm not one of the artists who I didn't get into art, you know, because I could because you know, I knew I had money or my family had money or anything like that. I do it for my livelihood, and if I don't make enough, I'm fucked. So that makes it a little bit more difficult if you're in a similar situation. And my heart goes out to you. You know, I'm in that situation too. So just know that I sympathize, but as much as is possible, as much as you can arrange it, walk away. You know, art will be waiting for you when you come back. It's almost a coarse way to put it, but like absence makes the heart grow fonder. Maybe do a long distance relationship with art for a bit. That way, the next time that you see art, you're just out of control, lustful towards it. I mean, completely white hot with desire, embarrassed by the intensity of your desire. You know, all of the sexual analogs there are apt, right? Cook that up like food, you know? Would you make art if there was no one but you on Earth? I'd want to, but I couldn't. I don't know how to do anything. I would need to really quickly learn how to grow my own food and, you know, do animal husbandry and all you know. I would have to, from scratch, recreate the entire edifice of human civilization. So I probably wouldn't have time to draw. I'd want to, but I'd be a busy bastard. Steven, where is Ahmed? You leave Ahmed alone. You leave him alone. Don't you ask where he is. It's none of your business. You let him do whatever he wants. Am I out of water? Ah, crap. I'll be right back. I gotta fill my little brush here with water. I don't know why I'm insisting on using the one with the tiniest reservoir that I have. It's just that it fits in the tin, so. Mascara blush, ashen come on the brush, I keep when they run, honey bear, honey bear, honey bear. Now son, I've made my life off reading people's faces, knowing what cards were and the way they hid their eyes. And if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of bases. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice. So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette, and then he bummed the line. And the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. He said, if you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough to count when the dealing's done. ¿Habla español, Steven? Solo un poquito. Estoy sin práctica. Nunca me sale bien. Tengo que practicar más. Mira, estoy haciendo dibujos en color. Estoy usando colores de agua. We got subtitles in the works for the course for Form from Imagination. And we got them in the works in Spanish and in English. Actually, if you're in the course, if you happen to go back and look at the first 2 videos so far, surprise, there's captions on them now. There's English captions and Spanish captions. I'll keep you guys posted. I'll let everybody know when we're all the way there. It's gonna take a long time. Acuarela. It's watercolor in Spanish. Estoy usando colores de acuarela. Yeah, I'll keep you all posted. I'll let you know once it's all there. Once the whole course has captions. We working on it. I got my good friend Magda going through. She's a very kind soul and unbelievably generous. She's going through and doing captions. Just throwing color down on these sketches just to kind of give me different stuff to react to and solidify the idea, you know? Just dreaming the dream. Everything's going to be okay, but why? Yeah, why is it going to be okay? That's weird, right? It is weird that it's going to be okay. Why is it going to be okay? Did you remove arm and leg transformation from Gumroad? They were gone for a while, but they're relisted now. They're back. Just too many people were asking for them. I was like, where was all the when they were up? No, you know, They weren't really the hottest sellers. All of a sudden, I delisted them. Everyone's like, what the heck? I was going to buy it. It's like, were you? Anyway, they're up now. Pretty sure, right? Why? Did something happen? Just, yeah, they're up there. This makes me realize it would make sense to uplight this piece. And then he bummed a cigarette, and then he bummed a light, and the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, if you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right, and you got to know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. The Gambler is that song is an earworm, man. That's a tough one to get out of your head. I've had that one stuck in my head since last night. I was walking my dog at like 11 p.m. on the dark streets, just walking my dog going, you got to know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em. Bottom left sketch makes me think of an alien astronaut. Alien astronaut is a great name for a band. Hello, Brooklyn. We are Alien Astronaut. My wife, her friends from high school, like early high school, they had a band that they would go around and play gigs. Like they did pretty well, like locally, you know, they kind of took off locally. But I always thought their name was so funny. Their name was Ladies Drink Free. And it was so good because it would just make the managers of all the places that would hire them so mad because they'd have to put it on the flyers and they would have to explain themselves and people would get confused. It's just like, what a punk move, man. That was so funny. That's how you keep people away from you, and I just sing and talk to yourself. Yep. My internet is doo-doo at the moment. Doo-doo? Doo-doo? You can connect to the internet over doo-doo? It's amazing. I guess my question didn't get sent previously. What makes an art piece so captivating that you can't take your eyes off? What even is storytelling in art? I mean, it's subjective. It changes from person to person. You know, people are going to be captivated by different things, you know. Art is a matter of taste. I personally am captivated by weird stuff. My favorite thing about a piece of art is if my favorite art pieces are the ones that make me go, how did you even start on that? Like, how did you even get there in your head? Like, what would possess a person to make something like that? Like, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but yeah, just something that I don't even understand what would make them think that was a good idea, and then it comes out great. Those are my favorite things, you know? Know when to hold them. You got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. What would you say is the best method to avoid overworking a piece? The best method is to give someone a hammer and have them stand over your shoulder the whole time that you work on the picture. And the moment they can tell you're about to overwork it, just have them hit your hand with the hammer and break your hand. Shatter it into 1,000 tiny pieces, irrecoverably. You'll never overwork something again after that one. I left my coffee over here. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. The thing I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, like a band of gypsies we go down the highway. Not me literally sobbing while trying to do art and seeing this video title. Welcome, Sabine, to a place of peace and rest. A place where you are allowed to make art either perfectly calm or crying, if that's what you need to do. You know, we all need a good cry every now and then. We all need a good cry. Sometimes you just gotta cry it out. Damn, nothing like a good cry. Reset you, you know? Turning off my fan. Let me pick a little guy down here a little bit more. Hey Steven, glad to see you're doing better. Also, this title is what I needed to hear after last week. Well, Wrathchild, I don't know what's got you. You know, just immediately realized I sound like one of those people who hosts like a late night call-in show. Like on FM radio or AM radio. Well, Wrathchild, I don't know what got you down this week, but we're all out here rooting for you, Wrathchild. This one goes out to Wrathchild. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Just keep on making art. Keep on making art. Keep forgiving people and keep forgiving yourself. Everything's going to be all right. Try to be open-minded, relaxed. Take things slow. Keep forgiving. Any advice for dealing with regret? Where is the past? You know, Questions like regret, loss, difficulties with past actions or past inactions or past actions of others. They really do dissolve in the face of the realization that they are not here. The past is not present. It has no substance, no reality. It barely even was when it was the present. The difficulty, the actual difficulty in life is giving a shit about that. That's the actual hard part, you know? Because we all know, we all can say in a very anodyne way, the past is not here, right? We all know it's, you know, we're just right here. We're in our rooms, we're in our cars, we're just wherever we're at. We just get so bored by the matter-of-fact truth of it. And that makes it nigh unto impossible to stay in the present. You just got to keep dragging yourself back. You just got to keep dragging yourself back. And you've got to remind yourself that there is a wealth of beauty and possibility and peace and companionship and care and love available in the only place it could be available, right here, right now. Boredom is the problem. Fight boredom. If you can fight your boredom with the matter-of-fact truth that everything is okay right here, right now, everything's going to balance out. Now, that doesn't mean don't go to therapy. That doesn't mean don't get help for all of the whatever you might be regretting, right? Especially if it involves infractions from other people, right? But if you're putting in the work at all, you're good. You know? Do your therapy and give yourself a break the rest of the time. On the road again. Damn, coffee's so good. I can't wait to get on the road again. What do you think about just ink style and not making guidelines? Is it really necessary to be very skilled in drawing for the ink-only style? Nothing's necessary in drawing. You can do whatever you want. You can draw straight to ink, only ink, be good at it, be bad at it. Who cares, right? You make up if it matters. It's on you, right? If you decide that it matters to you, that you should only be drawing straight to ink if you're very virtuosic at it, then done deal. Then it matters. But you can also choose it doesn't matter if you do it very well. And in that case, you are correct again. It doesn't matter. Art is not an objective thing. There is no platonic solid of art floating out in a spiritual realm. And there are no great adepts who are coming closer to the platonic solid than anybody else. Being without form or substance, art is free to be whatever it needs to be for every individual practitioner. So just have the confidence to let yourself have the practice that you need. And when people inevitably chime in and say that that's not right, and that magically they know what art really is, calmly curse them in the privacy of your mind and then walk away. I'm quite sick, Steven. How does your art routine change when you're ill? I don't know. Don't make art. I was sick the past 2 weeks with COVID. I'm sorry to hear that you're sick. I didn't make any art while I was sick. I just did my job. You know, I kept up with the feedback for my course, for my drawing course, just because I needed something to do. And, you know, I didn't want to fall behind that much on feedback, so I did that. You know, that involves doing draw overs and diagrams and things like that, but I didn't really draw like anything like this, you know. A couple little things, you know, just but just let yourself recover. Like, you don't, I don't feel the need to. What's 2 weeks? 2 weeks is nothing. Not in the big picture, you know. Steven, thank you for being you, man. Although no one has the answers anytime I'm in moments of stress, these streams are amazing to have, so thank you. My pleasure, MK. I really mean it. My pleasure. Happy to help. Thank you for the kind words, Mohammed. I'm happy to be back. I recently realized that I live in the past too much. I'm actively working to change that. Hard work, but already worth it. It is hard work, you know, and it requires maintenance. You got to keep coming back to it over and over again. Yeah, you got to keep bringing yourself back, you know. Just got to check in with yourself over and over again. Do whatever it takes to bring yourself back over and over again. While I was sick, I OD'd on scrolling and all of that. I recently uninstalled again everything from my phone. You know, took off just everything. Instagram, took off the ArtStation app, took off Twitter, took off YouTube, took off TikTok. Just got rid of everything. Forget if this pen is waterproof. I'm just gonna test that real quick. And yeah, if you need to do something like that, do that. It's very useful. I feel so much better after, weirdly enough, I feel so much better after getting over COVID-19 and taking all of these stupid apps off my phone. Go figure. Yeah, it looks like it's waterproof, that's fine. Joe, why don't you link your Kickstarter again for people who weren't here at the beginning? If you need some Christmas-themed minis for your D&D adventure or for your Christmas village, check out Joseph Marziliano's Kickstarter. He will make them for you and ship them to you. Hey Steven, have you heard that one song by Kenny Rogers in the first edition just dropped in? I have not. I bet it's good. It's a daily practice of me working to be in the here and now. I do guided meditations. I get outside and just look at the sky. I spend active time with my pets. Yeah, man. That's what it takes. It's the simple things in life, you know, and just paying attention to them. Man, being out, oh God, it's so, when I walk my dog, I'm just like, I walk around the neighborhood and I'm like, damn, why would I ever go back inside? It's so nice. It's hard to drag myself back in. And I like that. Because I definitely have a tendency to just get stuck in homebody mode. And not want to be outside, so. Steven, I have a commission to do and I'm running out of time and I've been drawing all day for myself because I'm having fun. Have you ever done this? Procrastinated? Yes. Do your job. You'll be all right. Your subconscious, deep down, might know that it will take less time than it needs to, than you consciously think it does. And it's managing you without you necessarily knowing. You're gonna be all right. Try to practice not stressing yourself out as much, though. Once you've been going for a long time, you start to realize that not procrastinating is a form of compassion, you know? Because as long as you do it, it lets you spend less time in a adrenaline-fueled rush, over-caffeinated and screaming at your monitor as you try to do 8 hours of work in 2 hours. But art is a very flexible thing, you know? Do you enjoy memes? I can't really tell with you. I like a good meme. I'm as susceptible to memes as anybody else. Hey Steven, I was listening to you talk about shape and form lately, and I decided to give a try to focus more on my forms in my drawings, and I can already see that I am improving in my arts. Congratulations, Civil Chaos. That's wonderful. That is fantastic. Since starting this stream, I forgot I have fibro? Huh. I don't know what fibro is. Is it a good thing that you forgot it? If it's a good thing, I'm so glad. If fibro was like your dog and you didn't walk him, you gotta walk your dog. Question, when are we going to see more of your pandemonium works? They are very flamboyant. You will. Oh, you will. Oh, you will. The flamboyancy cannot be stopped. It's all right. I think we're going to make it. I think so, too. I really do. Oh, geez. Yeah, I thought you might have meant fibromyalgia, but I didn't want to assume, of course. Well, if I've contributed at all to forgetting your ailment, it's a great honor. I consider myself extremely lucky to contribute to something like that. Hey, Steven, work's been eating my life for the last couple of weeks. Sorry for the lack of posting on the course. Do not apologize to me. Don't you ever apologize to me for something like that. I am not here to contribute to feelings of artistic inadequacy or like you're not doing enough. That's the opposite of what I want from my life. So that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not keeping tabs on anybody's progress like that, you know? I expect the fastest someone could get through form from imagination is 6 months. And again, like I said, that is the most optimistic, fastest prediction. I think it would take most people over a year, factoring in having a normal damn life and seeing the sun and taking days off and just having interruptions and all that. I'm just not... I don't want you to be in a headspace where you would ever feel the need to apologize to me or anything like that for something like that. It's not what we're doing here. And that's why the feedback in Form from Imagination is structured the way that it is, that it's asymmetrical, it's ongoing. You just post in the community whenever you have something, and then I get in there and I do the feedback after you post. It's just like, it's not about being on a strict schedule or anything like that. It's very open-ended. Planning any pictures, Steven? Yeah, what I'm working on now. I'm trying to plan an idea for a pencil that I had while rolling around having fever dreams when I had COVID for the past 2 weeks. I had a few ideas. This is one of them. I'm just trying to solidify my vision for it, so sort of doing the access drawing and whatever I want. So I can do it in ink, I can add some color, just to, you know, peer through the veil a little bit better with more clarity. And then once I kind of get what I would actually want it to look like, then I can ditch all the color and everything like that and just do it in pencil. But yeah, I'm just working with whatever makes me happy at the moment, but I imagine it as a pencil drawing, not an ink drawing or a watercolor. What was your first aha moment you remember when your art shot up in quality? How often do you experience that today? I don't think I can really remember my first one. Trying to think. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I can remember my first one. That's probably because it's been a long series of those, and I still have them all the time. I think the experience of making art really kind of is like, at least if you're really engaged with it, it's like every day you sort of feel like, today I've got it. Like, even after 16 years, you're like, yes, today's the day I finally figured out how to make good art. And then, and it's just like, it's a cycle of thinking that and then being like, I suppose that's not the secret. And then finding another secret. The Eurekas really energize you and keep you going and keep you exploring. Who taught you to be so positive? I don't know, I'm not really that positive a person. I'm really not. I mean, I suppose I have a positive outlook and all that, but I'm just as prone to cynicism and sad brooding as any other artist, you know? Another answer to that would be my father died by suicide back in 2015. And that really made me extremely seriously, for a intense period of my life, figure out my relationship to negative emotions. Because that showed me just how real an impact feeling bad has on people. If it was anything, it'd probably be that. The period that I went through there and the period of recovery there. Before that, or without an event like that, you just don't take it as seriously or something like that. That made it very like, time to put the pedal to the metal and decide how I feel about these things and what place they're going to take in my life and things like that. Yeah. Is that pen actually waterproof? Yeah, it was. Hey, thanks, Boxerway. No problem. My job is manufacturing. There's no space for creativity at all. How would one incorporate art in life when physically impossible to sketch? Didn't know about your dad. I'm sorry. Hope you're okay. Oh, yeah. You know, it's a long journey, those things. And, you know, well, you know, if you know, you know, if you've been through something like that and loss like that, it's just like, it's always with you, and it's a complicated process of recovery, and you need help and stuff like that, you know, but we're doing all right. It's really, like I said, it really has affected my viewpoint on life a lot in the long run. So yes, I'm doing okay. Yeah, how to incorporate art in life when physically impossible to sketch. You don't need to, you know? if you're thinking about art and sort of yearning for art, it's like, that's enough. You don't need to. I would just be very slow about sort of letting that become a new thing to beat yourself up about or anything like that, because if I give you an answer like, oh, here's how to incorporate how to incorporate art into your life when you can't be doing it, while you're doing your manufacturing job. And the next thing you know, you're going to be doing your manufacturing job and you're going to be sitting there depressed being like, damn, I'm supposed to be drawing pictures in my head while I do this. And it's going to be a new source of negative affect and you're going to have to unravel it all. It's like, don't worry about it. You're a person. Just do your job. Give yourself a break, Art will be there when you're done. Art will be there when you're done with your job. Just let yourself do your job. You're all right. You don't have to pile everything on yourself. It doesn't have to be everything all the time. Come on. Sorry about your dad. I hope you're doing better than before. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the kind words. Yes. It was, it's very life distorting for a while, for a long time. But I'm one of the fortunate people who I can happily say I'm feeling much better about it, It's not like it'll ever be like a non-thing, but, time heals all wounds. Have you ever studied the history of art, Stephen? Yep. I think it's very useful for an artist to know their art history. You don't need to know it like a textbook or anything like that, but I think you're really doing yourself a disservice if you don't sort of dive in there and explore what has happened with art over all this time. Steven, I recently got an extra fine point fountain pen. I feel it's really helping me push and explore drawing a new way. Do you have any tips or ideas on how to study using pens and ink? I love pen and ink. And my little fountain pen is one of my favorite drawing tools. Any tips? Don't be afraid with it. Don't get stuck like on the outsides of forms with the pen. I think one of the best things you can do to train yourself with it is to let yourself use the nice, strong ink line to do shading and lighting all on the inside of the form and to do big shadow shapes and all that. It requires bravery, and it will make you much better. It'll make your drawings much better. So just don't be afraid. Don't get stuck on the outside of the form. Draw like crazy on the inside of the form as well. And it'll unlock a new level with ink. It did that for me. I'm sleep typing. Oh, lordy, lordy. Unless we're naked getting high on the mattress while the global market crashes. saying I told you so. While studying history of arts, I saw that art called white square on a white square, and it's basically two white squares on top of each other, which sold for millions of dollars. Yeah, there's a lot of that in art. If you want to make a lot of money with art, you got to find your white square. Did you ever do any monochromatic watercolor like the effect? Not anything super involved. I very often use just the black watercolor as if it was an ink brush. I do that all the time. What is your opinion of abstract? Just abstract art? It's great. I mean, all art is abstract. Deep down, all art is abstract. So it's like you cannot depict life. There are only things that approximate representation, but the only thing that could look like life is life itself. Photographs are comically unlike life. Paintings are absurdly unlike life. 3D art, generated art, everything is just like, it just becomes abjectly less lifelike. So, you know, representational art, abstract art, they're just shorthands, convenient buckets, but nothing is actually representational. Everything is abstract. Thanks, Tali. Did you know Frank Frazetta read and studied Bridgman in one night, and then he said to his teachers, "Now I know my anatomy"? Yes, a common story about Frank Frazetta. Probably told, no one has told it as much as Frank himself. Just one of many things that he lied about to build his legend. It is obviously an absurdity to think that hastily copying something like Bridgman in a night would do anything for you. But Frank Frazetta was not just a genius of art, he was also a genius of marketing himself and telling the lies that would make him famous. And that's part of being an artist. So. That is kind of a revelation. I don't need to get hooked up on being good. I just gotta lie through my teeth. Yeah. It works for tons of artists. Don't forget the root of the word. Art is artifice. That is where it comes from. It's all lies. And nothing will be spared, 'cause I love you, honey bear. Do you have a certain type of art you prefer doing, Steven? If so, what types of art inspire you? I do all sorts of stuff, but if you went by volume, there's nothing I love so much as pencil drawing. Drawing in pencil will always please me, I think. But I love to mess around with all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's just fun to discover and to experiment. You know, art is such a vast playground. It's hard to beat. But yeah, pencil drawing's probably the winner for me. And what kind of art inspires me? I get inspired by all sorts of stuff. Not just visual art. The last thing that really amazed me is The Rehearsal on HBO by Nathan Fielder. That was the most recent thing I saw where I was like, ah, real art. Something truly original and abjectly disturbing and ambiguous and strange and elicits strong opposing emotions from people. I was massively inspired by that. I watched it while I was sick with COVID. It moved me. I was moved to tears by it. It was one of the things. There was moments there where I'm very middle of the road about stuff. You know, I'm very cynical. Few stuff super impresses me. It takes a lot to get me to hop off the couch or go, go like that, like go, no way, like what an unexpected thing, or what a weird movement of artistic vision. It got that out of me a few times, and the last time I had that was the movie Parasite. And really nothing had really pulled that out of me between those two things. So it's been a few years since I felt that way about something. Is the octopus getting comfy on the dude, or is the dude getting comfy in the octopus? Therein lay the question. Therein lay the question. I didn't want that red there. Yeah, whatever. Did you enjoy The Life of Pi? I saw it. I don't really quite remember it. It wasn't a real standout for me. But I remember liking it fine. Do you like pesto? Sure I do. Pesto's great. Hi, Lameworks. How was the time away? Ill. It took a long time to get over, but I'm very happy to be back, to be functional again. Went for a nice run today. Felt great. It's been it's taken a long time to shake it and be ready to do stuff like this again. My favorite is drawing with fountain pen and going in with watercolor. I use sketching because it's waterproof. What ink do you use in your pen? The ink I currently have in my fountain pen is not waterproof, but I used to use a waterproof ink with it, and I agree, it's tons of fun. But I use a Pilot ink that is not waterproof in there right now. And that's nice too, because I can take a water brush like this and go over the fountain pen lines later and blur them out to get some value. I've been vibing on that recently. Because I don't really do a lot of work where I like fill in the lines, you know? Like stuff like this is pretty rare from me, where it's got like distinct line work with the colors filled in. I don't really do this much. Steven, did your dog give you the COVID? No, I don't think so. I got it from a wedding, pretty sure. Hey, Con. Thank you. I'm doing good. Did you watch Goddard, and if so, what did you think about his movies? I have not watched Goddard. I had a dream where you passed my apartment and I was overcome with dread. I had to ask you, will I ever amount to anything in art before you vanished? I did catch up, and you gave me a bowl of fruit. What does it mean? I mean, the meaning is obvious. If you can't decipher the meaning for yourself, you're not going to amount to anything as an artist. So you better get to deciphering. My friend makes rings, she twirls and sings. She's a mystic in the sense that she's still mystified by things, and who can tell? Well, it all can't go so well. It all just goes to hell. You must do unto the others as they would do to you. Which graphics tablet would you recommend? You know, all the cheap ones are pretty good now. The really cheap ones are as good as the old professional ones used to be. So if it's your first one, I would get a really cheap one and see if you actually like working with one. I wouldn't jump in for like a Cintiq or anything like that, because they're not for everybody. You know, I personally find them very uncomfortable to use for long periods of time and things like that. So I would get like I think it's a good idea to just get any kind of cheap starter tablet and scope it out. I think if it's your first one, you probably shouldn't spend more than like $150 or something like that. They're pretty good. They're pretty dang good now, the cheap ones. There's also only so good they get, unfortunately. Even the really expensive ones like Wacoms and things like that, like the Pro-Line Wacoms, they're really held back by their drivers. They're not the most refined experience, so. There's only so good they get. Have you thought about making an art exhibition in a museum? Do you think it's a good idea nowadays? Well, dog, it's not really up to you. That's the thing. It's not like you can just think about making an art exhibit in a museum and then be like, yeah, I guess I'll do it, and then do it. It's like, you got to be invited, you need to be hugely connected, you need to be famous. It's like, doesn't really matter much what you think about it, you know? And you've got to be relevant for the show that the museum wants to put on, you know? It's not about what you think would be cool to show. You need to be reached out to by a curator who for some reason finds your work to be relevant to some theme that they want to make a show about. Wacom pens are awful now, so cheap feeling? Mm-hmm. Fabian says, it's raining here for the first time after 3 weeks of smoke from forest fires. Feels similar to the return of inspiration after feeling unmotivated. Also, everything's gonna be okay. Just know this too shall pass. Don't forget to consider the course, of course. I'm going to do some feedback for the course tonight after dinner. Or consider joining the Patreon if you like what I do here and you want to support me. There's a new $5 tier if you want to support. You get patron-only audio, exclusive Patreon rants. You get work-in-progress updates, high-res scans of my drawings. Check it out. There's also more in the works. We're going to do some draw-alongs. I got a Zoom account now. Trying to hang out on Zoom sometimes. I think we're going to do like a little... Going to try to schedule some draw-along sessions while I get in the Zoom room. I'll put up some references while chilling there. You'll watch me draw. You draw the same references. We'll all vibe. I'll let you know when I schedule that. But if you're interested in doing stuff like that, consider signing up for the Patreon. Get on in there. Go on, get. It's a pretty cool octopod. When I gotta get it with the octopod. Yep. Steven, how you doing? Well, Zane, I'm doing pretty good. Why Zoom and not Discord? Use Discord instead. Discord has a 25-person limit for video calls, at least the last time that I checked. So we will need to go to Zoom if there wants to be more than 25 people in the draw-along. Depends how many people are interested, what times, things like that. I used to do it more casual on Discord, in the Patreon Discord. It works fine there. It's just the limit, the user limit. Is it weird that I'm generally concerned that you are working too hard, Steven? I see all your course feedback and I'm like, this looks like a lot of time. It is a lot of time. Yeah, the course feedback is no joke. I appreciate you appreciating that there's a lot of effort going into it. But it's fine. You know, we're all out here doing my best. My best. We're all out here doing our best. But I appreciate your concern. I'm not working too hard. I mean, I'm not... You guys know, it's part of my responsibility. Based on what I do around here, it's like, I can't advise you all to take care of yourselves and to try to live with balance if I don't do the same for myself, you know? So, am I a very productive person? Yeah. Am I, at this point, pretty good at managing my time and getting a lot done? Yeah. But I'm not working too hard. I'm not killing myself. And I try to be as generous with myself, my needs for rest as I can. But I'm also painfully aware that I'm in a very lucky position and I don't want to squander that. So I have a lot of motivation to, with something like the course, right? Which is a weird thing to do in life. Extremely premium product, right? And just independently done. Yeah, I'm going to work my ass off on it, you know? I'm going to work real hard on making it good and giving good feedback and all that. Because, you know, you got to appreciate when you get to do something that it's really just not a given that you would ever be able to do it. So... highly motivated on that. It's as the assignments get more creative. That's when things really spike, you know? Like some of the first foundation exercises, like the sphere, it's like that feedback, you know, there's a lot to cover, but you know, it's a controlled set of things, so that feedback's a little bit more controlled. But man, when people started posting like the textured sphere exercise where I ask them to do something more creative and they can pick whatever they want, suddenly it spiked up. Like the feedback for those is, it's sometimes taking 2 to 3 hours each to draw over and fix their stuff, because it's a different solution every time, right? It's not just doing it rote. So like when someone posts it, I have to kind of like go there and like read into it and really ask like, how the heck would I do this? So it takes much longer. I enjoy the challenge though, as a teacher. And I also know it's making me a better artist in the long run, right? Because it's making me really seriously consider these drawing questions that I wouldn't necessarily ask of myself, you know? I gotta change this. I've just been working in a very washed out picture mode here for no dang reason. So let me just get on one that looks more correct. That's a little better. That's probably fine. That looks more like it. Do you ever critique others' work in class settings? Like if you take the course, of course, you know, that's where I do critiques. I can't just do it like, these days I can't just like do it out of context for anyone who asks. I used to. Those days are behind me, unfortunately. There's just no time for that. But in context, yeah. Like in the course, I critique people's work. Workshops, I critique people's work. Oh, it started raining. Thank God. Maybe now the humidity is going to break. Very humid here in New York today. Bye, Joe. Have fun with Clover. Get a good walk in. You'll get that walkie. After you, of course, which artist do you think has the sexiest shapes? My shapes are not great, but I don't know. Claire Wendling always stands out. Her shapes are really pretty sublime. What's your favorite Nicki song, Steven? I don't know Nicki. Is Nicki Nickelback or something? Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. Was on a bird about a bean on bone. And what the heck is that on Jimmy's head? Said, are we having fun? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was definitely a thing in this household for a long time between me and my wife. We'd be sitting at our desk working, just quietly plugging away, and then one of us would randomly go, said, are we having fun yet? Yeah, yeah. Nicki Minaj? Oh, Nicki Minaj. That boom, ba boom, 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 ba boom, boom. Yeah, that's that super bass. Boom, ba boom, boom. What's my favorite Nicki Minaj song? Yeah, I'm not the biggest Nicki fan. Hold on, let me pull up Spotify. I'm not the biggest Nicki fan, honestly. I like her on a lot of stuff, a lot of her features, you know? I'm just looking at her top 5, yeah. I like her on a lot of features. I like her on Swallow a lot. Bad girls gon' swallow la la. Buzz down on my wrist in this bitch. My pinky ring bigger than hers. Well, I finally finished my coffee. That took a long time. Sorry, communicating with my wife about dinner. Well, let's do another sketch. Let's see if we can arrange the design to be horizontal instead of vertical instead. Maybe we can push the anatomy a bit too, make things a little bit more distorted, more stretched. Steven, what's been going on? Busy these days? I was sick for 2 weeks. Had the COVID. So it was just resting up. It was like I couldn't sing while I had the COVID, so it's like, why would I even be on here? You know? I know you guys are all here for the singing. From your experience, what is the most common reason for students' paintings looking muddy? It's the values. The values aren't clearly defined. There's not a clear light shape and a clear shadow shape. And they beat up the light with all of these unnecessary value changes that don't honor the laws of compression. That just makes things look muddy. You need, if you want things to not look muddy, you need effectual, wide open shapes that communicate form with just the right amount of value change, baby. Do you believe that value changes in the night sky are like shooting stars? I really want to control my values. Hi, puppy. Yeah. Who's your good girl? Who's your good girl? What is it? You so hungry? You want your dinner? It's not time yet, puppy. It's not time yet, puppy dog. Who's a good girl? Who is a good girl? It's fucking you. Yeah? Yes. Best girl who ever lived. Number one. Absolutely top of the pyramid. Beautiful, creative, thoughtful, inspiring, patient, understanding. You've got it all, baby. You've got it all. You're not just a good girl. You're the best girl. Now go on, get out of here. Question, did you have Craig Atberry as a prospective teacher in Art Center? No, I'm not familiar with him actually. I had Scott Robertson and Thomas Bertling were my prospective teachers. Damn, I wish I was your dog. Don't we all? My dog's the best. God, I'd swap lives immediately. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. No, 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 don't speak. I know what you're thinking, and I don't need your reason. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak, no. Ooh, the rain's coming down nice now. I just gotta listen to it for a second. Mm-hmm. That is nice. Speaking of art teachers, when do you know you have a good art teacher? If they support you. If they're really... If they listen to what you want to do, you know, what you're actually creatively interested in, and they don't shy away, and they, you know, they go there with you, you know? I think that's a sign of a good art teacher. That they're not trying to fit you into their little box, but that they're willing to humble themselves a bit and go there with you into the wilds that you want to go into. Am I seeing things or Steven is actually drawing a woman? You are seeing things. That is not a lady. That's a man, baby. It's a man. If you have to ask, surprise, it's a guy. Now you know, so just accept that, bro, it's a dude. What's your favorite kind of weather, Steven? Snowing. Yeah. I'm a winter guy. I wilt in the summer. Steve, question 2. How close do you think Scott Robertson's How to Draw book is to the class you took under him? It's pretty close. I mean, it's like a textbook for that class. It's all in there. If you're interested in doing like the How to Draw curriculum, which is I think you should only undertake it if you're really sure you need that level of perspective skill for your work, which is pretty dubious these days. I mean, even Scott rarely draws like that now, right? I mean, he's off doing all sorts of other stuff. So I would do it only if you're really sure you want that level of veracity and perspective knowledge. And if you want to go into that, I would really advise not doing that on your own. I would look for a class setting to try to do the How to Draw curriculum. It's the tricky thing about perspective is that it's so complicated that you can think you're doing everything right and you're totally wrong. So it really is super difficult to do without having someone with experience to signpost you and let you know where to watch out for things and that you mess something up. Because even after you have a lot of experience with perspective, one of the things you learn from doing it a lot and doing it very seriously is that, you can think everything's going right and you just made like one understandable human error somewhere in the process and the whole thing has unraveled. So Orange Gordon, Steven, you're the best teacher I ever had ever. You were so patient with me in hindsight. I try to pride myself in my patience. Or I try to really focus on being patient. Truly, truly. Because I know good students like you, Gordon, it's worth it to be there with them and to bear with and to help them through the confusion. And you know, I mean, not to sound too sappy or anything, but I really care about artists, and I know it's hard a lot of the time, and I've been there, and it was really hard for me, and it's just yeah, we got to take care of each other because no one else really understands us. I don't know how else to put it. You know, if artists aren't going to help each other and care for each other and be patient with each other, nobody else is going to do it because we're very, very weird and we've chosen a strange life. And yeah, if we're not going to do it, no one else is. So, and we got to take care of each other. And people need art. They need to make it. But Steven, if I can't be an artistic legend at 17, then what's the point? You know? You gotta make up your own point. I know you're joking, but that is how a lot of people experience the journey. They're just like, number one or screw it, you know? And it's like, it can't be that forever. Steven, when did you start to draw? I've been drawing my whole life. Since I was a wee little boy. According to my sister, who remembers when I started drawing, I do not. Like around 5 or 6 years old. I've got an interview with her talking about my early exposure to art and the first drawing she can remember me doing and how she inspired me and things like that. I have an interview with her about that stuff on my Patreon. If you want to hear that and get it in podcast form with a private RSS feed so it goes right to your phone, consider supporting me on Patreon. I just added a $5 tier. You get in-progress shots, Discord access, Patreon-only audio, bonuses, bonuses, bonuses. high-res scans on my pencil drawings. When we do draw-alongs and other special things in the future, you'll get those. All sorts of premium stuff. And you, of course, support me by doing that. You support this. You support the sharing, the streaming, sitting around, creating a little bit of peace in the drawing world. You keep me from disappearing back into NDA oblivion. Which books would you recommend for learning composition? I think probably the best all-arounder is Framed Ink by Marcos Mateo Mestre. It's not the drawing style that everybody's interested in, and it's very focused on like storyboarding and film and stuff like that, but I think all around it's probably the best intro. Steven, there's a painting of many Stevens with your yellow banner saying first drawn, don't worry, I think. Is there any video of the painting process? There is. Yeah, it's yeah, if you go back in the archive on the YouTube channel, there's it illustrates a Q&A video, I think. I think Thoughts on Art Schools is in the title. Thoughts on Art School, I think, is in the title. I think you can find it with that. What is the most intrusive thought? What is your most intrusive thought when it comes to art? I'd have to think about that. It's probably something like, why am I doing this? That one comes up for me all the time. Fate is driving me insane. Our hopes and dreams erased. I must kill or be killed. Is this watercolor? Yep. Slowly reading Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. It's actually good. Yeah, that's a good one. Good introduction to everything being just shapes. And the idea of not drawing your concepts of things. Good intro. I must kill, be killed. I think I like the horizontal layout much more. Feels more like the feeling I'm looking for. The squish. This wouldn't be, yeah, the horizontal works. I would need to, it couldn't be this though, or it wouldn't be this though, because I do want to get the opening that I have down here, so I would need to redo this doing the flaying. But I think horizontal is very promising, very promising. I like the brush you used. Is this a handmade one or can be purchased? No, this is purchased. It came with this tin of watercolors by Derwent. These are the Derwent Inktense watercolors. The brush came with them. But you can use any, there's all sorts of these little water brushes that have the water in the reservoir. I have some much bigger ones by Niji in the other room. What if SpongeBob SquarePants was a telenovela? Would you watch it? Probably. Steven, do you have any advice on to stop being so hard on ourselves as artists? Well, what you're doing is being hard on yourself as a person. You know, the artist part is probably not the biggest issue there. So ask yourself why you would be hard on yourself as a person, which is actually quite a difficult question and opens a lot of doors. But I think that's what you want to look at. Why the heck are you being so hard on yourself as a person? You know, when it comes to the artist part, it's like, you'd better not be hard on yourself, because you know what? Everybody else is already being hard on artists. The people who are hiring them. Every normal person who knows nothing about art, like they're very hard on us. You know, they think we're all crazy. We are. They take advantage of us because we let them. And the optics are very bad. They think you just kind of press a button and a computer makes the pictures for you, which they do now. So don't be hard on yourself. Everyone else has that covered. Artists need to be very kind to themselves and to each other. What if they are soft on themselves or firm? Look, soft, firm, whatever kind of love you need. Come to mama, tell me who hurt you. There's gonna be no future if we don't figure this out. Welcome to mama. Tell me who hurt ya. What do you think about aphantasia? How much does visual library help making art? Am I losing something? Nah, I think people with aphantasia can draw fine. You know, because, I mean, you can draw perfectly well never imagining something in your head. You can just react to stuff on the page. Like, everything I've done here, I haven't taken a single moment to, like, look at something in my mind. I'm just reacting stroke to stuff. I don't think aphantasia is a big deal for drawing. It's like, you can have a super vivid visual life, right? Like in your mind, you can see things like movies, like 3D movies in your head, and it will still take you a decade to get good at drawing because you can't just trace what's in your head. That's biomechanically impossible. So, do you think it's okay for artists to take a long time to make one piece of art when they are starting, or is it better to practice speed from the outset? I think it's a good idea to practice both, but it really does depend on what your end goal is. I think if you had to do, it's hard to say, but finishing stuff is really important. And unless you're super careful about what you decide to do for a living, if you don't develop the habit of finishing stuff, it's going to screw you for years, you know? And it's very hard to break. I'm guilty. It took me a long time to learn how to finish stuff, and I really just wish I'd not let that happen. So I think you should always maintain the habit of following through on things. Don't delete your work, Civil Chaos. That's just... If you're deleting your digital work, that's just pure unmitigated self-frustration. That's entirely unnecessary. It's just a digital file on your computer. If you're rage deleting your digital files, that ain't about the art. That's you. And I'd advise you to check in with your feelings there. Just hold on to everything you do. I mean, what? Photoshop files aren't that big. You'll be happy to look back on them someday, even if you're way too hard on yourself now. Thank you, Matarel. I love you too. Come to mama. Tell me who hurt you. Steven, are you a pen tablet guy or pen display guy? Usually a pen tablet guy. These days I'm a display guy because with the course out I have a lot of diagrams and notes to do, and that's just much easier to do with a display tablet. So it's less about the drawing, more about, it's easier to handwrite notes, to just write on the screen. So I recently got that. I bought a screen tablet for the first time in years, literally when I launched the course, specifically for that reason. I never wanted one before that. Well, I did a long time ago, and then I realized they're not for me. so I hadn't used one in years. But once I knew I was taking on a lot of feedback responsibilities with the course, I picked one up. You get the course. You get the course. Nigga. Oh no. Got green paint on my tit. Ain't that a shame? Looks like you got some green paint on your tit. Ain't that a shame? I'm just going to get some color on this guy, and I think we're going to call stream. Don't want to burn myself out. Want to ease back into it now that I'm healthy again. And I got to go cook dinner, so. Jairo Miguel Camacho Reyes says, hello. You don't have to call me master. I'm just some guy. Greetings, and welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. I wonder if displays were just... I know Med changed his mind on pen displays. I wonder if displays were just too clunky when you were at Art Center. Maybe. I mean, I like the iPad. You know, that counts as a pen display. I like working on my iPad. The desktop displays tend to be pretty clunky, yeah. The iPad's nice for its portability, and you can sit on the couch with it, and it's just so thin, you know, low profile. Again, I also want to remind people, I should shut up about this, but it's just like, it's also just, they're not, it's like they're not made by Apple, everything else. So it all, like, my Huion is fine, but I cannot fix the fact that while it's plugged in, every time my computer sleeps, you know, if my timer to sleep my computer goes off, it hard crashes my computer. If I unplug the Huion, that never happens. I can literally just unplug my display tablet Huion, sleep my computer over and over again, runs fine, no problems. Plug my Huion in, first time my computer sleeps, hard crash. Hard crash. Everything closes, no warning, complete lockup, has to restart from blank. It's just like, these companies don't, the environment around these products is not great. So there's all sorts of problems with them. What do you think about taking old artworks off of your social media? I've been thinking of deleting a lot of my older works because I don't feel as representative of the work I want to display. Yeah, I mean, you know, you're just curating your portfolio. If social media is your portfolio, then yeah, you probably want to do that. But if you don't get work through it or anything like that, then nobody cares, you know? You're like portfolio, including social media. If social media is a way you get work, so it's a portfolio. Should be consistent, and to the point. Did Ray Bustos used to ask to be called Mr. Ray or Professor Ray when you studied under him? I think I just called him Ray. Yeah, I don't remember something like that. Yeah, I just called him Ray. Trying to remember what it was like to, walk into the room to TA for him and see him in the morning. What would I say? Yeah, I think I'd just be like, hey, Ray. Morning. Who do you consider to be a master artist and would be definitely worth studying his work? Yeah, it would just depend on what work you're actually trying to do, Like, I don't think there's any artist that everyone should copy. It's just like, no matter how good somebody is, it's just going to be irrelevant for a huge portion of artists, You got to identify what you want to work on, and you pick work to copy off of that. I would say it's literally anything you like. It's effectual to copy it. And you'll learn something from copying it. I like the values that I got up here in the top right. Nice soft transitions that communicate sort of like the uplighting feeling. I like it. Got some nice stuff out of that randomly. Any art tips to strike fear in the hearts of my foes? Just like make crazy faces at them. Just like stick out your tongue and grimace a lot. Call them names and stuff. All right, let's leave it there. Always leave a little gas in the tank. Try to quit when you want to keep doing it so you can come back tomorrow excited, knowing what you want to play with. Leave a little gas in the tank. And yet I'm still drawing. Not taking my own advice. I just said I would stop. Let's stop. Yes. All right. Thank you for streaming today. Well, thank you for drawing today. I appreciate all of the drawers out there, all of the art makers. You got to do it. Don't let them stop you from being creative. You must be creative. You need your creativity. The world needs your creativity, even if they don't know it yet. I only draw anime. Just kidding. You better be. You better be. You better be kidding. You better be kidding. I find myself having too many ideas for pieces recently. I think it's partly that I'm working on a longer piece and those pop up every now. Yeah, that happens all the time. That's actually very good. The most recent Patreon-only audio, a podcast episode, includes a long discussion of that, about how important it is to those ideas that pop up while you're doing longer pieces, the lusty ones that drag you away. Those are some of the best ones. I talk about that at length in the most recent Patreon-only audio, which you can get if you sign up for the Patreon. There's a new $5 tier. You can support me for $5. Go get into Patreon. You get Discord access. You get all sorts of premium content and stuff like that. And you keep these things going. Don't forget, of course, that you get the course, of course. Go look at the course, Form from Imagination. If you want to get better at drawing from your head and you want to get feedback and you want the community for it, it's a wonderful product, and I'm very humbled by everybody who has got it so far. And they're doing amazing work. I'm super impressed by the quality of the assignments that everybody's doing. Popped off real quick. Quality spheres, quality drawings, real fast. Let's see what else. Yeah, just go be happy. Have a good life. Eat some good food. Talk to people you love. Fabricio says, hello, Steven just came here, but I'm going to play it back fully while I draw. Very nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate the plays, the views, purchases, all the ways that you people support me. Give it a like, give it a share, tell your friends. We spread by word of mouth here. That's it. I don't buy ads or anything like that. You got to tell people. We spread by word of mouth here. So thanks for the views. Thanks for subscribing, thumbing up. Thanks for buying videos on Gumroad. Thanks for buying the course. Thanks for joining the Patreon. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks for chatting. And of course, thank you for drawing today. Don't forget that lizards are rightly terrifying. If you're not afraid of lizards, we're talking like Gila monsters, Komodo dragons, tiny cute salamanders and things like that. That's a sign of a serious mental deficiency. You should experience an abject horror whenever you see a lizard, so I'd highly recommend going to a doctor, telling them about the lizard problem, getting them to give you a drug that makes you appropriately horrified of lizards. Don't forget to never take your car to the shop. Every mechanic is breaking your car every time you take it. If you just do nothing to your car, including never changing the oil, it'll run just fine. Mine has never broken down on me. If it makes a sound, it just makes a sound. It's not going to stop. Your car will stop working as soon as you take it to the mechanic, because they are incentivized in every way to secretly damage your car, and you're their mechanic and you're not. So of course, no matter how good you think you are with cars, they can damage your car in a way that you will never be aware of. So never repair your car. Be afraid of lizards. And if you ever have nothing to do, just stare at clouds and say, Cloud, turn into more of a square-shaped cloud. Cloud, until the cloud turns into more of a square-shaped cloud, which will happen, guaranteed. And that'll prove to you that you have psychic abilities, and that'll be an exciting week for you, you know, because life can get a little humdrum. Life could get a little mediocre, a little boring, but you're going to have a great week. The week that you're walking around like, oh my God, I have psychic powers. Wow. That'll be a fun week, you know? I want that for you. So make sure that you turn some clouds into square-shaped clouds. That'll really do a lot for you. All right, everybody. Take care.